Hi crafty friends! Today we'll be trying to make our own letterpress printing plate to try the letterpress technique as part of Pink Bubble Card's alphabet challenge. So stay tuned and let's get crafty.
Keep all your game, highs and lows, highs and lows. It's all the same, highs and lows, highs and lows. Keep all your game, highs and lows, highs and lows. It's all the same, highs and lows, highs and lows.
Once you're happy with your arrangement and you've got all your pieces glued down and they're fully dry, we used some StazOn ink and covered all the metal pieces. We used StazOn as we thought that would be the best chance at covering the metal and giving us a good impression with the ink. And that's our DIY letterpress plate ready to go. Now we're just going to take some paper and place our DIY plate on top and put it through our Gemini die cutting machine. You can play around with your plate combination and the number of shims that you use to get the depth of impression that you want, and you can also do this in manual machines using we tried it on our Big Shot and it also worked with that as well. Just experiment and have a play to get the right shim combinations. Here we're using a base plate, the plastic shim and the top plate, and as you can see this has gave a very deep impression and it's almost cut through the card, so we give it another try but replace the plastic shim with the embossing mat, and this also left an impression but not quite as deep and an effective letterpress as when we used the plastic shim. And as you can see here, it's left a nice indentation into the card and the ink's been left in the shallows. So we're quite happy with this for our first attempt at making a letterpress plate. So we gave it another go using a piece of chipboard this time as the backing and added more cogs. Repeated the process by putting the StazOn ink on and had an experimental play with different cardstocks, plate combinations and textures. We found that the best cardstock for taking the letterpress technique is watercolour card, but as I said, have fun with your stash. There are lots of fun ways to use the letterpress technique, and you can check out the hashtag and Pink Bubble Card's alphabet challenge for loads of inspiration from other crafters. You can use embossing folders to do the letterpress technique. You can layer up die cuts to do it. You can use stencils. There's loads of different ways, so we thought this time we would try to make our own letterpress plate. And the good thing with this plate is you can keep using it, you just need to ink it up and you can use it time and time again and repeat the same design. So as you can see here, it's quite effective on different coloured card as well. And you can change up your ink. We just stuck to the StazOn this time, but you could use different coloured inks if you wanted to. So now we've got some watercolour card and the same plate that we've been using inked up again. This time we're just going to use the base plate and the embossing shim and the top plate to do the letterpress technique. And as you'll see, this also gives a very nice impression. What do you think? Do you like this technique? Is this something that you would try in your crafting? Or is it something you've already gave a go? Let us know in the comment section down below. We love to hear all about your crafting and what you think of our videos. This reflective mirror card is stunning when used in the letterpress technique as well. It was a little bit hard to get the ink impression just because of the shiny surface, but with a little bit of practice I'm sure you could get a clean impression. But we were just having fun exploring the technique. And here are some of the impressions that we made using our DIY letterpress plate in the letterpress technique. It's quite difficult to catch on camera, but they have a really nice de-embossed imprint and they've took the ink really well. Here we've just put them on an inky background. We used using water reactive inks, some spray water and the smooshing technique. And as you can see from the back here, it leaves a nice deep impression, and you could also use it as an embossing folder if you just used it round the other way. And here it is on some plain textured watercolour card. It was really effective on this type of card. And you can have fun using any of the metal embellishments you have in your stash to create your own designs. We also used some mini keys and dragonfly charms, and they also worked brilliantly. So just have fun and explore this technique. Now we're going to use these letterpress panels that we've created to create some artist trading cards. So we're going to cut them down, mount them, and add some further embellishments and perhaps some sentiments. So we'll have a quick dash into our stash to see what we have, and we'll finish these off and be back with you shortly to share them. Stay tuned. And here are our finished ATCs using our DIY letterpress that we made. We used a stamp set to make some sentiments that we had in our stash. This is a Time Heals Vintage Label 7 set by Spellbinders. We got this in the sale from fruitpixie.com, a great little website. There were some fabulous bargains and a nice array of junk journaling supplies on that website as well. And we used a small cog daisy bucket design cog stamp that we also got from Fruit Pixie to make the sentiments and embellishments for our ATCs. And I'll just show you them up close. The best thing about the future is that it comes one day at a time. That's a quote from Abraham Lincoln. And we've just stamped this using StazOn onto some vellum and attached it over the letterpress background. And you can see the lovely letterpress imprint there on that one. So we've used a selection of sentiments and gems from our stash and mounted some onto glittery card and some onto black mat. And this one says, "Time heals what reason cannot." And we've put some iridescent fine thread behind there that picks out the colours of the background. And here we used our circle punch to punch out the metal tape background. And another sentiment here, "Time does not change us, it just unfolds us." And that's by Mark Frisch. And again, circle punch, some gems and "Time for thanks." So they're all slightly different, but with the same theme of time and using the letterpress backgrounds. So you can let us know in the comment section below what your favourite design of the ATCs that we made is, and please check out the other participants using the hashtag pbcalphabet challenge, as there's loads of different creative ways that crafters have been using the letterpress technique, and it's a great way to get inspired. And thank you ever so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you spending time with us, and until next time, happy crafting.